And what's your name?
Mandy Harvey.
And who's this?
My interpreter.
What's your name?
Sarah.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Nice to meet
How
you,
are
sir.
Hi, Sarah.
Doing well, thank you. Hello.
Okay, Mandy, so I think I've worked this out. So you're deaf?
Yes, I lost all my hearing when I was 18 years old.
Wow. And how old are you now?
29. So it's 10 years.
Wow.
When a deaf woman stepped barefoot onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2017, nobody could have imagined what would happen next. The moment she opened her mouth and sang, Simon Cowell did something he almost never does. Without waiting for a single word from his fellow judges, without hesitation, he slammed his hand down on the golden buzzer, sending this extraordinary performer straight to the live shows. But what happened to Mandy Harvey after that viral moment will leave you speechless. And her journey from complete silence to international stardom is nothing short of miraculous. Mandy Harvey possessed an undeniable force that captivated everyone who heard her story. Standing on that stage at 29 years old, she communicated through a sign language interpreter, explaining to the judges that she was profoundly deaf. She couldn't hear a single note of her own voice, yet she was about to sing an original song she had written. The contradiction seemed impossible. How could someone who lived in complete silence create music? Mandy had faced unimaginable obstacles, from devastating hearing loss at 18 to crushing depression that nearly ended her music career forever. She endured criticism from within the deaf community itself, receiving death threats for choosing to sing. But through sheer determination and an innovative approach to feeling music through vibrations, Mandy transformed herself from a broken college dropout into one of the most inspiring performers America's Got Talent had ever seen. Join us as we tell you what really happened to Mandy Harvey from America's Got Talent. The studio lights felt warm beneath Mandy's bare feet as she walked onto the AGT stage on that June evening in 2017. She wasn't wearing shoes, for a very specific reason, one that would shock the judges when they learned the truth. Behind her walked her sign language interpreter, immediately signaling to the audience that something different was about to happen. Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Mel B, and Howie Mandel watched with curious expressions as Mandy took her position center stage, her ukulele held gently in her hands. The audience fell into an expectant hush through her interpreter. Mandy introduced herself and explained that she was going to sing an original song. When the judges asked about her background, she revealed the devastating truth that would leave them all stunned. She had lost her hearing when she was 18 years old. The confession hung in the air for a moment. Howie Mandel's expression shifted to one of confusion and concern. How could she possibly sing if she couldn't hear? Mandy explained that she had been a vocal music education major at Colorado State University. When she completely lost her hearing due to a connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, she had to leave school. Her dreams of becoming a music teacher died that day. For months afterward, she stopped singing entirely, falling into a deep depression where she barely left her house. The music that had defined her entire life was suddenly, devastatingly silent. But then something remarkable happened. With encouragement from her father, Mandy decided to try again. She began retraining her voice using visual tuners on her phone, apps that show pitch in real time through visual feedback. She relied on muscle memory from years of training and learned to feel the vibrations of music through the floor. That's why she performed barefoot, to feel every beat, every rhythm, every note through the soles of her feet. The judges sat in stunned silence as she shared this story. Simon Cowell, normally quick with a quip or a criticism, simply listened. Mandy began to sing her original composition titled Try. Her voice, warm and crystalline, filled the auditorium with a purity that seemed to defy everything she had just explained. The lyrics told her own story, about not feeling the way she used to, about finding the courage to begin again. As she sang, the audience sat mesmerized. How was this possible? Her pitch was perfect. Her tone was flawless. She played the ukulele with gentle precision, her fingers finding every chord with confidence. People in the crowd began to cry, overwhelmed by the sheer impossibility and beauty of what they were witnessing. The camera captured Mel B wiping tears from her eyes. Heidi Klum's mouth hung open in astonishment. Howie Mandel shook his head in disbelief, and Simon Cowell, the judge known for being the harshest critic in entertainment, sat completely still, transfixed. When Mandy hit the final note and let it fade into silence, the entire studio erupted. The audience leaped to their feet in a thunderous standing ovation. All four judges stood immediately, applauding with genuine emotion etched on their faces then. Before any of the judges could speak, before the applause could even fully die down, Simon Cowell did something extraordinary. He reached forward and slammed his hand down on the golden buzzer. Golden confetti exploded from the ceiling, raining down on Mandy as she stood in shock on the stage. The audience went wild, screaming and cheering. Mandy covered her face with her hands, overwhelmed with emotion. She couldn't hear the deafening applause, but she could feel the vibrations of thousands of people celebrating her. Through her tears and disbelief, she watched the golden confetti fall around her like a dream. Simon Cowell's voice cut through the celebration. "Mandy, I don't think you're going to need a translator for this," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I have done this a long time. That was one of the most amazing things I have ever seen or heard. Honestly, I never think I'm going to be amazed or surprised by people. And then you turn up. It wasn't just the fact of who you are, but it was your voice, your tone. And the song was beautiful." The other judges echoed his sentiments, each struggling to find words adequate to describe what they had just witnessed. The video of Mandy's golden buzzer audition went viral immediately. Within days, it had been viewed millions of times. The New York Times ran a headline reading "Mandy Harvey, deaf singer, finds an audience and leaves it weeping." Social media exploded with reactions. Twitter was flooded with people sharing the clip, calling it the most inspiring thing they'd ever seen. Instagram comments poured in from around the world. Even Lady Gaga tweeted about Mandy's incredible performance. The audition would eventually accumulate over 500 million views across all platforms, making it one of the most watched AGT auditions in history. But the journey was far from over. As Mandy progressed through the competition, she faced challenges that went far beyond the typical pressures of a reality show. What America's Got Talent didn't tell viewers was that Mandy was facing intense criticism from an unexpected source, members of the deaf community itself. In interviews following her AGT appearance, Mandy revealed that she had received death threats from people who accused her of promoting oralism, of betraying deaf culture by choosing to sing instead of embracing silence. The backlash was devastating. Here was a woman who had found a way to reconnect with her passion despite overwhelming obstacles. And some people wanted to tear her down for it. Beyond the external criticism, Mandy battled internal doubts that threatened to overwhelm her. Every performance required 40 to 70 hours of preparation each week. She had to practice pronouncing words correctly without being able to hear them. She had to trust visual tuners and muscle memory for pitch. She had to choreograph every movement, every breath, every musical cue without the benefit of hearing the accompaniment. The work was exhausting and relentless. There were moments when she questioned whether she could continue, whether the pressure was worth it. Her Ehlers-Danlos syndrome also presented constant physical challenges. The connective tissue disorder that had stolen her hearing also affected her joints, nerves, skin, and organs. She experienced frequent dislocations and chronic pain. Performing on the AGT stage while managing these invisible disabilities required extraordinary strength, but Mandy had a support system that refused to let her give up. Her family, her friends, and her faith sustained her through the darkest moments. She had already survived the worst period of her life when she first lost her hearing and quit music entirely. She had climbed out of that darkness once before, and she was determined not to fall back into it. It was during the quarterfinals that Mandy truly proved her critics wrong and demonstrated the full depth of her artistry. She walked onto the stage with quiet confidence, her ukulele in hand, ready to perform another original composition titled Mara's Song. She had written this ethereal ballad for her close friend's wedding, and it showcased a different side of her vocal range. The performance was haunting and beautiful, with Mandy's angelic voice soaring over delicate ukulele accompaniment. As she sang, the audience sat in reverent silence, hanging on every note. The song built to breathtaking high notes that Mandy navigated with flawless precision. Her voice had a unique, otherworldly quality that seemed to touch something deep in the soul of everyone listening. When the final note faded, the crowd erupted in another standing ovation. All four judges rose to their feet immediately, their faces showing genuine amazement. Simon Cowell spoke first, his voice filled with admiration. "You are so special," he said simply. The other judges echoed his sentiment, praising not just her vocal ability, but her courage, her perseverance, and her inspirational message. Social media once again exploded with reactions. Viewers predicted that Mandy would win the entire competition. Comments flooded in calling her performance the best of the season. Mandy advanced to the semifinals with overwhelming support. For her semifinals performance, Mandy chose to perform yet another original song, "Release Me." And this time she incorporated something new. For the first time in the competition, she used sign language during portions of her performance, allowing her to express herself in the language of the deaf community that had both embraced and criticized her. The gesture was powerful and deeply personal. Standing alone on stage with just her ukulele, Mandy poured her heart into the song. Her vocal runs were exquisite. Every high note rang out with crystal clarity. The emotional delivery brought tears to faces throughout the audience. When she finished, three of the four judges, Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, and Mel B, gave her an immediate standing ovation. Howie Mandel, in a touching gesture, signed applause from his seat rather than clapping. Simon's critique was perhaps the highest praise he could give. "I remember the first time I heard Adele," he revealed, his voice thick with emotion. "I remember thinking, this girl is going to be a star. And that's exactly how I just felt just then." The comparison to one of the most successful singers in the world was not lost on anyone. Mel B called the performance more powerful than anyone could ever imagine. Heidi Klum declared it Mandy's best performance yet and praised her for incorporating sign language. Howie Mandel noted that Mandy transcends hearing, perfectly capturing what made her so special. The performance cemented Mandy's place as one of the frontrunners of the competition. Twitter trends included her name and predictions of victory. YouTube comments overflowed with people saying they'd never been more moved by a performance. Mandy advanced to the finals of America's Got Talent Season 12. The finals arrived on September 20th, 2017, with anticipation at a fever pitch. When the results were announced, Mandy Harvey finished in fourth place overall. While some fans were disappointed that she didn't win, feeling strongly that she deserved the title, Mandy herself felt differently. Years later, in a confessional on AGT, All Stars, she admitted that she had actually felt relieved when she was eliminated in fourth place. She didn't believe in herself at that moment. She had been overwhelmed by the pressure and the scrutiny. But finishing fourth on America's Got Talent was just the beginning of Mandy Harvey's story, not the end. The exposure from AGT catapulted Mandy's career to heights she had never imagined. Her audition and performances accumulated over 600 million views across all platforms. She was invited to perform on major television shows, including The Steve Harvey Show and NBC Nightly News. She appeared at the Los Angeles Times and became a sought-after motivational speaker. In 2017, the same year as her AGT appearance, Mandy published a memoir with co-author Mark Atbury titled Sensing the Rhythm, Finding My Voice in a World Without Sound. The book chronicled her journey from hearing loss to recovery to international recognition. Mandy's music career flourished beyond her wildest dreams. She released her fourth studio album, Nice to Meet You, in 2019, followed by her fifth album, Paper Cuts, in 2022. Her albums consistently topped the jazz charts, and her live performances sold out venues across America. Fans who attended her concerts described the experience as transcendent. After each show, Mandy makes a point to meet every person who wants to talk with her, taking photos, signing albums, and connecting personally with the people her music has touched. Concert reviews overflow with words like amazing, inspirational, life-changing, and unforgettable. Beyond performing, Mandy became a passionate advocate for the disabled community. She serves as an ambassador for No Barriers USA, a non-profit organization that helps people with disabilities overcome obstacles and achieve their dreams. She partnered with Not Impossible Labs and Avnet to develop proprietary technology called Music, Not Impossible, which aims to help everyone experience music through vibration the same way she does. The technology could revolutionize how deaf and hard of hearing individuals connect with music. She also works with Hearing the Call, an organization that sends audiologists around the world to provide hearing aids and care to people who otherwise couldn't afford it. Having experienced the financial burden of hearing aids herself, Mandy understands how critical this work is. In her personal life, Mandy found love and happiness. She married a man named Travis from France, and in May 2022, the couple announced they were expecting their first child. The pregnancy was something they initially kept secret due to uncertainties surrounding her Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and concerns about how it might affect a pregnancy. On June 4, 2022, Mandy and Travis welcomed their son Louis into the world. Becoming a mother added a new dimension to Mandy's life, though she continues to balance her family with her thriving music career. In 2023, Mandy returned to the AGT stage for AGT All-Stars, determined to prove herself in ways she hadn't been able to the first time. She performed another original song, Something I Can Feel, and once again received a standing ovation from both the judges and the live audience. Simon Cowell told her that she just needed a second shot, that she deserved another chance to show America what she could do. While she didn't win All-Stars, her return demonstrated how much she had grown, both as an artist and as a person who now fully believed in herself. As of 2025, at 37 years old, Mandy Harvey continues to tour regularly, performing at venues across the United States. Her net worth is estimated at around $3 million, earned primarily through album sales, live performances, speaking engagements, and her advocacy work. She splits her time between Florida, where she lives with her husband and young son Louis, and her touring schedule. Her social media following includes over 155,000 followers on Instagram, where she shares updates about her music, her family, and her advocacy work. Her message to aspiring performers remains constant: never give up, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone else define what's possible for you. In July 2022, Simon Cowell ranked his favorite top 15 golden buzzer moments in AGT history. During season 17, Mandy's audition placed 5th on that prestigious list, a testament to the lasting impact of her performance. Her performances continue to inspire new generations of viewers who discover her story online. Comments on her videos consistently express how her journey has motivated people, facing their own challenges to keep trying, to keep pushing forward, to refuse to accept that their dreams are over. Mandy Harvey's unbelievable transformation from a devastated college dropout, sitting alone in the dark, to an internationally recognized artist, author, and advocate proves that talent combined with determination can overcome any obstacle. She didn't just learn to sing without hearing. She revolutionized what we understand about music itself, proving that it isn't just about sound, but about feeling, about vibration, about the connection between performer and audience that transcends any single sense. Her courage to continue pursuing her passion despite losing her hearing, despite facing criticism and death threats, despite battling a chronic illness, has touched hundreds of millions of people around the world. What do you think about Mandy Harvey's incredible journey? Let us know in the comments below. Which talent show contestant should we cover next? Drop your suggestions in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another inspiring story. As for Mandy Harvey, her story is far from over, and as she continues to perform, advocate, and inspire, we can't wait to see what she accomplishes next.